Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you everybody for joining me today, taking up the time to watch this video. Inshallah, today's video is going to be beneficial for both you and for me. Today what I wanted to talk about is something that I sincerely believe that if it's understood and maybe even mastered, maybe this is something that could change the way we live our lives. And that is how we perceive the world. The reason why I think this is very important is because I feel that the world we are living in now is showing us a very warped side of reality and fiction. So basically what's happening now is that we see reality as fiction and fiction as reality. And nowadays we see in the movies anything's possible. So you see normal men turning into green, bulky men like, the Hulk. And I think it's very sad, especially because I know for me as a mother, my children have started to think that these things are reality. So my younger son, especially, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this video, has really started to think about cartoons and movie characters, as if perhaps they are real. And if he needs help, then he will either call on for a superhero to help him, or he would try and act like he is the superhero himself, and he will try and, basically try and deal with the situation. And my son has banged his head many, many times. He's banged his lips. He's hurt himself tremendously trying to be these certain superheroes. But that's the funny side of it. The serious side that I want to talk about is the side of being a Muslim, being a part of the Ummah. Because I think that especially the younger generation nowadays, they have started to perceive Jannah and Jahannam as an illusion. I know for me, when I was growing up, for me as a child, I always thought that heaven and hell were like illusions. They would be like blurry. They would be like dreams. And with time, as I very slowly, unfortunately, came close towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put certain situations and issues in my path that made me come close to Him. Those situations have made me realize and understand the reality of heaven and hell. And now I think it's been a while since the reality of what this world is has started to become much clearer to me. So definitely the ulama, the people who are very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those people who are fulfilling their duties magnificently, can definitely, I feel, see a clearer view of what the world is like nowadays. But I think me as just a small, normal Muslimah, I would say that I myself have started to understand exactly how things are warped, things are altered. It's like an illusion. So this world is basically, it's an illusion. That's all it is. It's like very, very similar to the Matrix, obviously. So just a small idea, a small thought that I wanted to leave, especially the mothers out there, the Muslim mothers out there, that when you talk to your children, and I'm going to make it a point myself, that when you talk to your children out there, where, especially if you're a teacher at school, whether you're at home, in every situation, whether it's something outside the house or inside the house, make sure that reality is talked about as reality and that fiction is talked about as fiction. So what we want to do, we cannot become Hollywood. We cannot make heaven and hell visual to our children, like by making movies or anything like that for them. But what we can do is we can create an image in their mind, and we can try and make them, I mean, we can just do our part, right? So we can try and make them understand that heaven and hell are both reality, and they are the prize, or God forbid, the punishment that we would get for whatever we submit at the end of our time. And I think another thing that we need to focus on is that I hear a lot, especially when I'm sitting, in discussions talking to other women. We often talk about the signs of Qiyamah, the end of days, the Judgment Day. And I think that a lot of women, have stopped, understanding that number one, there is Qiyamah, of course, there is the Day of Judgment, right, the Day of Resurrectioning, and then there is the small Qiyamah, right, that all of us have to endure. And the small Qiyamah basically is the Qiyamah of when we die, right? So we don't know how long we have. We don't know whether we have a year. We don't know whether we have a week. We don't know whether we have a second. So I think a lot of women are like, the end of days is coming. And, there's certain signs that are shown about how the sun will rise and how the sun will set. And I think that the way illnesses are coming upon people, and it has been told that people will find new ways to sin, and new diseases will come to them as punishments. So the way diseases are affecting people now, and the way people are just, it's tragic actually. You hear about a person, today, and 3 days later, God forbid, they've got a life-threatening disease, or they've passed away. So that is what life and death is. Or there was a situation, a circumstance in which they passed away so suddenly. So I think don't wait on Qiyamah. Don't wait on Qiyamah. Don't think that whatever's going to happen is going to happen in Qiyamah. Because it is very, very possible that we won't see Qiyamah. It's very possible that our children might not see Qiyamah. Our children's children might not see Qiyamah. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how much time we have before Qiyamah, right? And how much time we have individually. So don't wait for that. I think, keep a vision, for those who like to make vision boards, or just keep an image in your mind that you don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be this evening. It could be this afternoon. Nobody knows, when their time is going to come. So, it's definitely, going to be something that we would want to do, correcting our deeds, inshallah. But I think that step by step, we should start by our perception of what is right and what is wrong, what is fake and what is real. And I think it's important for us, and it's also important, especially being a mom, being a Muslim mom, to bring that visualization to your children. Especially, we, alhamdulillah, have removed our TV from our home, but still, because my children often get bored, and because of my lacking of iman, till now, may Allah increase my iman and allow me to get rid of these things as well. Often my children do watch cartoons on the internet, do watch clips and videos, and they do see, superheroes, and they see the world as it's not. So that is why I feel that it's very, very important for mums to make sure that their children understand what is real and what is not. Because this might seem like something small, but I have seen a tremendous issue in my younger son, especially with regards to superheroes and just characters that he sees, and how he perceives them and how he thinks that they are real and that they can really help him. And I think that is the issue, because when children or any individual starts believing that something can help him or someone can help him, then he's going to definitely substitute So you understand what I'm saying. So if if it's not understood properly and there is a weak iman, there's a gap in between, God forbid our children might start believing that, instead of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, na'udzubillah, saving them or being there as their, for their help, for their support, their guidance, they will start substituting reality and adding in characters and superheroes and whatever, because there's so much out there. There's just no limit. They're going to start adding those things into what they perceive as real, as reality. And I think when that happens, which, it's already started, but if that is something that becomes basically mindset for a lot of people, that's going to create a big issue. That's going to create a big issue. Because then the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decrease, God forbid. And then, of course, you can understand what's going to happen to the ummah when they start believing in false things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, then believe in what you will and see what you can get from there. And that is definitely something that we do not want for ourselves or for our children. So please do pay attention to what you as yourself as a person and what your family, what your community around you sees as reality and as fiction, and try to correct it as soon as possible, inshallah, because definitely it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's definitely something that's going to take hard work and time. So inshallah, may Allah help you on that journey. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.